In this unit, we're talking about Mendelian inheritance, and it's only fitting we start out talking about the man himself. Gregor Mendel was an Austrian monk who studied pea plants and their inheritance in about 1865. Inheritance is a characteristic that is passed from one generation to another in the form of genes. And Mendel was the first to quantify genetic tests, which was really important because he helped us to understand how inheritance works. Mendel's ideas are still accurate because they are for simple systems. There are some non-Mendelian inheritance rules that Mendel didn't know about because the pea plants he studied were relatively simple in their genetics. He coined several terms that we're going to talk about. There are roughly 10 of them. We still use these terms today. So the first is an allele, which is an alternate form of a gene. Everyone has two alleles for each gene, and they're represented by letters. For instance, big R or little r. A homozygous individual has two copies of the same allele, so big R or little r. A heterozygous individual has one copy of each allele, so a big R and a little r. A dominant allele is always expressed when it's present, and it's shown by a capital letter. So big R, big G, or big N. A recessive allele is always masked when a dominant allele is present, and we show recessive alleles with lowercase letters, little r, little g, little n. A genotype is the alleles carried by an individual, or its genetic makeup. The phenotype is the appearance of an individual, and a cross is sexual reproduction between different individuals. For instance, Mendel studied pea plants, and one of his most famous crosses was between peas with purple flowers and peas with white flowers. And finally, a character is a feature like an individual has, such as hair color in a person, obviously, or plant height in one of these pea plants. A trait is the genotype or the phenotype of an individual for a given character. So, for instance, a person could have red hair, or a plant could be either dwarf, being small, or tall, being much taller than that. So check your book if you need more information about understanding this about genetics and Mendelian inheritance.